The year is 1964, and this was the last year for the Corvair 95 Rampside truck. But before getting into all of it, I'm Jay. Welcome to What It's Like, the automotive channel that focuses on the history, specs, detail, design. Sometimes it's like seeing these cars and trucks for the very first time. If that sounds like a channel that would totally interest you, something that you will totally dig, subscribe and hit the bell icon next to it to never miss a video. Chevy would offer the Corvair from 1960 through 1969 in two generations. The first generation ran from 1960 to 1964. Second generation picked up in 65 and lasted until 69. The biggest change in the generations is design, of course, but also the first generation has a swing axle. Second generation ditches the swing axle. Both generations use independent suspension on all four wheels. The swing axle didn't sit well with Ralph Nader, who wrote a book, you may have heard of it, Unsafe at Any Speed. The early cars with the swing axle got a bad rap, said to roll over in the curves because of the swing axle. But to be frank, just about anything will roll over if you're going fast enough. Volkswagen also used the swing axle, but to be fair, they couldn't go fast enough to roll over, especially in the late 50s and early 60s. They just didn't have a whole lot of power. Also, the first generation Corvair offered a line of cars and not just a couple different body styles like the second generation. The first generation, you had your typical body styles like the two-door convertible, two-door coupe, four-door sedan. And then you had the four-door Lakewood wagon, which was only offered from 1961 through 1963. It was called different names throughout its production run. Greenbrier van from 1961 through 1965. They had the Corvair Monza Spider, which was their turbocharged offering. 1962 through 1966. Corvair 95 Rampside was only offered in the first generation. Through the years of 1961 through 1964, Chevy built the Rampside to compete with the Ford Econoline van and the VW truck. The Corvair offered the Rampside opening, whereas the other two didn't offer that feature. A Corvair exclusive, Corvair 95 trucks, which stood for 95-inch wheelbase. All other Corvairs ride a wheelbase of 108 inches. Rated for a payload of 3/4 ton for the Corvair 95. The first year that they sold 13,262 units, but by 1964, production was down to a trickle. Only 851 units were made for 1961, which triggered cancellation in 1965. Let's talk about the box or bed of the 95 Rampside. Double-walled box. The length of the box is 105 inches or 8.75 feet, which is pretty impressive given the overall size of this pickup truck. The bed was longer than a conventional pickup truck bed was, and the Rampside feature was a sweet feature exclusive to Corvair. I don't think any other company during this time period had that feature on a pickup truck. At the top of the Rampside door was rubber to protect the door from the ground. The only drawback to this bed was it's not all one level. Chevy decided to mount the engine in the rear. That's a Corvair hallmark. So the very rear of the bed sits up higher than the rest of the bed. Let's talk specs. 180 inches long, 70 inches wide, 70 inches tall. It rides a wheelbase of 95 inches. It weighs 2,665 pounds. Price, $2,136, which is equivalent to you spending $21,135.79 in the year 2024. Total, 1964 Chevy production was 2,318,619 units, of which only 851 Corvair 95 Rampsides were built this year. Moving on to engine, only one engine on offer, 164 cubic inch displacement, Pancake 6, 2.7 liters. It's good for 95 horsepower, 3,600 RPM, 110 to, I saw conflicting information, 128 pound-feet or 149 newton meters at 2400 RPM. With a bore of 3.4 inches and a stroke of 2.9 inches, compression is 825 to 1. 4 main bearings. It could be backed with one of 3 transmissions: 2-speed power glide automatic or 3-speed manual, 4-speed manual.
The Corvair 95. First American trucks with Corvair's better balance and load distribution. Exclusive advantages you get only when the engine's in the rear. This Corvair 95 is called the load side, carrying capacities a tremendous 1,900 pounds. Look at the 95's terrific visibility, and look at that front seat. 3 men wide, and they can be wide men. Here's another Corvair 95, the Rampside, with a feature that sets it apart from every other pickup in the USA. That's right, the side folds down to form a ramp, especially helpful when the load's too heavy to lift. And here's the big new Corvan. Its huge 191 cubic feet of cargo space is easy to get at through the big double doors, on the right and in the rear. And look at that low loading height. As with all Corvair 95s, the Corvan suspension is something special in trucks. 4-wheel independent coil springs, so even delicate instruments ride safely. Check into the Corvair 95. You'll find them and whatever kind of truck you want at your Chevrolet dealer's greatest show on work.
If you've been looking for a 1964 Corvair 95 Rampside pickup truck with only 851 being produced in the final year, and 60 years after the final year of production, they can be kind of hard to find. But I know a place where they have one for sale. Classic Auto Mall, Morgantown, Pennsylvania, where every day is an indoor car show day. And get this, anybody can go there and peruse their inventory. For directions, hours of operation, and to get more information, pricing, and pictures pertaining to this very truck, be sure to click the link below after the show. Let's talk styling. Look at how these headlights sit in here with these bezels. Turn signal indicators down underneath it. Pinstriping. Very basic. Bumpers. Chevrolet nice and proud here on this fake grille. This one does have the windshield washer feature. Just look how small this hood is. Stainless trim around the windshield and the windshield wipers. This truck does have drip rails. They start right here. And notice it's a different piece up here that goes the perimeter of the cab. So just check out how this protrudes the window. The window is a single piece of back glass. Just look at the pinstriping on this truck. Look at all of these lines. This line that runs the belt, almost a belt line. It's kind of like upper belt line. Fenders are flared. Gas filler right here. Truck is on 14-inch wheels. Man, just look at all the space for activities. Notice the bed isn't one level. Got this deeper part here, and then it has stairs going up, essentially. Brake lights. Look how it ties in this line that comes down the side. Backup lights. So check that out. This is an easy access panel, and it doesn't feel metal. It feels fiberglass. Oil filter right there, as well as you can get to the points and distributor coil right there, as well as add engine oil. Battery box is located right inside here. Engine access is right here, but you have to unscrew these to get access. So this being a Rampside truck, this door actually opens, and you would open it from the inside. Man, just look at all that space. This door opens up so nice. Also, just look at the entryway into this truck. Just look at that door profile. Armrest as well as door handle to pull the door shut. Door handle to get out. Window crank for the big window, which operates like that. It has vent windows as well. And that's how the vent windows open. Look at those massive mirrors. Coming down inside the pedal box, before we do, look at this entryway. Hand brake, I-beam switch, clutch, brake, gas pedal. Just take a look at this interior. Nice quality shut. Here is what over the hood looks like. Here is what first person over the hood would look like. On to the button switches and knobs, starting on the left end, moving right. Headlights, windshield wipers, wash feature in center, gasoline gauge, speedometer, lighter, key/ignition, radio, fan blower controls, heat, ventilation, defroster. Up above, there are sun visors. They look like this. And there's one over here for the passenger. And they do not interfere with the rear view mirror, which is not a daytime, nighttime rear view mirror, just a rear view mirror in this truck. So check this out. The top actually sits above that part. It almost looks like a vaulted ceiling. There is a dome light. Let's talk seat back profile. The seat is super comfortable. There's probably enough space to put 3 people in here. 2 bigger people, 3 small people. The seat back profile, it's a perfect seat. It bulges out a little bit here and then it comes back. The seat back does not dip down nearly as bad in the back. It's a good seating position. Ashtray. On to the glove box test. Here is our test subject. Here is my hand for reference. Here is the glove box in question. It fits in the hole, but it won't shut because it's hit the back, so it's not going to fit. Behind the seat is the full-size spare tire. On the positive side, cab forward truck concept on a smaller truck platform. Rampside concept, stellar idea, which could be used for a bunch of different reasons. Like, think about it. This would make an epic motorcycle transporter truck, motorized wheelchair transporter, great visibility in the front, engine parts in good supply, known to draw a crowd at the local car show. Just a really cool truck overall. Against it, rust prone. The bed isn't all one level, and one has to unscrew the bolts to get full access to the engine. All right, now it's time for Would You Rather. Two scenarios today. In the first scenario, would you rather have a 1964 Ford Econoline truck or 1964 Corvair 95 truck or 1964 Dodge A100 truck? I'm going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Moving on to the second scenario, 1964 Volkswagen truck or 1964 Corvair 95 truck or 1964 Willys FC 150. Once again, going to leave this here for a minute. If you need more time, feel free, pause the video. Now it's time for Name That Tune. First person to get both the name of the band and the song title correctly in the comment section will have their comment pinned to the top of it. Thank you all so much for coming out and watching this. This is way more than a car channel. This is a car community. And if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can shoot me a comment in the comment section below. I read and answer all comments posted. I don't say that for self-worth. I just say that because if you post a comment on here, you will get a response. I try to be as personable as possible, which is the total opposite of just about every other channel out there. Anyway, we have a Facebook group I call the After Party. It gives you the opportunity to share your rides, stories, experiences, anything car related is a go on there. If you don't have Facebook and would still like to reach me, send me an email. All of it will be linked in the description below. Just know I appreciate everything that you guys bring in the comment section. Until next time, toodaloo! You're only 16, but you're my teenage queen. Now my queen.